In today's global village, it's encouraging to remember that even cars built for a world market still portray many of the characteristics of their country of origin. Take, for instance, the Brits. Here in Britain, it's almost silly to talk about our motor industry because we don't really have one anymore. Of course, there are companies such as Morgan and TVR who make superb cars, but that in itself isn't much of an industry per se. The newly reprieved Rover Group are now British again, and their cars mirror greatly the national character. The Brits like their history and they like driving about in it. It's no great surprise that a major part of Rover's revival plans hangs on the allure of the octagonal MG badge, and cars such as this MGB are revered much more in this country than anywhere else. It's all to do with the fact that subconsciously we all know that we're not the world power we once were, and so we hark back to past successes and invest in them a greater significance than is perhaps due. The MGB, for instance, was not particularly brilliant at anything, was built by the much troubled British Leyland, and even when new was outclassed by offerings from abroad, but is now regarded as a classic and a great British success. This classic status no doubt helps its younger cousin, the MGF, to sell in the numbers it does. But it's not just sports cars the Brits still make with enthusiasm. The cars we make better than anyone else in the world, apart from Formula One cars, are those at the very top of the price scale, the real luxury cars. Cars such as the Bentley. Bentley motor cars are quintessentially British in nature and character. This Azure, for instance, displays the traditional craftsmanship long associated with the mark, the wood, the leather, the refinement, etc. And the subtle elegance of the car typifies the national distaste for brashness and vulgarity. What we see when looking at the Bentley is a perfect example of British restraint. It is an extraordinarily beautiful car, built regardless of cost to the very highest of standards. And yet somehow, while you may disagree, it is not a conspicuous display of wealth at all, more of class and good breeding.